Hey there, Tamir from Fibonaccis-Traders.com here with the daily market recap for the first day of December. Let's see what the market brought us today. Before we do, please hit the like and subscribe buttons, will be much appreciated. Thank you very much. SPY daily doji of this trend line, and if we look left, every time we had a doji of this trend line came a pullback. Now let's see if it will validate once again. If it does, 393 to the downside, and we have this gap here, 380. Again, every time if we look left, doji of this trend line is a major resistance. Lower highs since January 2022 to the penny of March 22 to the penny August 22, and now once again doji of this trend line. Bulls, let's see if you have enough power to break up and above, or once again going back down and we'll close this gap here. So if you are in long positions, this is the time to start managing risk much tighter. QQQ, same goes here. Once again, looking left, this trend line is holding and resistance for the lower highs since January 22. We can see very clearly to the penny, also here, and now again doji of this trend line failing to break, and we will see 285 and maybe also this gap here to the downside at the 268 will get filled. IWM breaking up above this trend line, closing above this trend line, but some pullback will be healthy, and if the SPY and the Q will pull back, the IWM will follow them to the downside, closing this gap at a 178. Dow Jones holding above the 342, 343 area. Let's see if the Dow Jones can continue pulling all the market on its back to the upside. And as we said, some pullback at this point will be healthy, maybe even towards the 330, closing this gap here. VIX continuation to the downside, almost at the 1940 area. And as we said in the past videos, watch for this level, because once VIX will hit this level, we will get, as we see in previous times, every time it hits this level, the 1940, we have a bounce to the upside. So keep your eyes on the VIX. Dollar index finally breaking below the 105. Now it's on the 104.68, breaking down and under, and we will see 104. Natural gas, as we said a week ago, once it hit this trend line here, failing to break up, it will go and retest this trend line here, and here we are. NVDA, this trend line is a major resistance, as we identified it few days ago. This trend line will be a tough resistance for the bulls, and now we see a doji of this trend line. There is no greater signal for a pullback that will come, maybe not Friday, but in the coming days, a pullback on NVIDIA will be healthy after a bull run since October lows at a 108 all the way to 170, 70% uptrend in 2 months. A pullback will be healthy, so keep your eyes on the price action and follow the levels to the downside as a potential support areas. Now Microsoft, also we have this major trend line, and as we said, trend lines are the true support and resistance for price action. Check the link that will pop just about now on the right corner. Short video I made about trend lines and why they are the true support and resistance for price action. No other indicators needed, because all indicators by default are lagging. Price action, trend lines, and Fibonacci levels, this is all we need. And as we see on Microsoft, to the penny, to the penny, to the penny, and now doji off a trend line. There is no greater signal that a pullback is coming. Maybe not on Friday, but this is the level 241 to the downside, and we have 229 area closing this gap here. AAPL, not surprising. Doji almost on a trend line. This trend line goes all the way back to August 22, to the penny throughout November, and now doji, trend line, Fibonacci to the downside. Keep your eyes wide open. Tesla, doji off the 194. This 194, if we go back, it's an important support level for Tesla. Now managing to break up and above, but we have this trend line here, doji off a trend line, and we might see also on Tesla, not surprising, some pullback to the downside. And if we take Fibonacci levels, swing low, swing high, and these are the levels to the downside that we need to keep our eyes on. Next support will be the 186, failing to hold 179, and if this fails to hold, this gap here at the 171, 172 area will get filled, because we know that more than 80% of all gaps are getting filled. MJ, patience is the key, and as we identify this trend line, and we waited for several weeks now for this trend line to break up and above, and here we are breaking up above. Now 620 is the next test for the MJ bulls, because if we look left, we have support, resistance, support, and now 620 is the next major test for the bulls. I'm expecting breaking and going back to this trend line, and as long as we keep above this trend line, this white trend line, we are good to go for long position. And again, educational purposes only, not an advice to take any trade or investing of any kind. Always do your own due diligence. Never follow blindly anyone. Paid services, free services, YouTube, Twitter, always do your own due diligence. Bitcoin, 17,400 is a tough one, and now going back, pulling back towards the 16,600, and if this one fails to hold, we will see 16,200 and maybe even back to the 15,500. So keep your eyes on price, follow price, and use Fibonacci levels to manage the risk to the upside, to the downside. And if you want to take your trading journey to the next level, check out our one-on-one live mentorship program with lifetime access of support and all our channels on Discord. Check it out, links in description, in the first comment. I hope you find this video helpful, and until the next one, do good things.